Thanks to its flat terrain, minimal risk from predators, and steady water sources, this region becomes the first cradle of life in the migration cycle. As the blue wildebeest sweep across southern Serengeti, their journey begins at one of the most remarkable points on the ecological map, the Ndutu Plains. Unlike many other parts of the Serengeti, which feature rolling hills or pockets of dense woodland, Andutu stands out with its relatively flat, open terrain, like a vast natural stage. The landscape in Ndutu is more than just open grasslands. Scattered strips of acacia woodlands are woven in beautifully, offering shade and food for giraffes, elephants, and a wide variety of fruit-eating birds. The presence of these ancient acacia trees creates a peaceful habitat for migratory bird species, making Andutu one of the most captivating bird-watching destinations during the rainy season in East Africa. Dotted among this rich vegetation are granite outcrops, known as kopjes, rocky formations shaped over millions of years, rising like ancient islands from a sea of grass. At the heart of the Ndutu Plains lies Lake Andutu, an alkaline lake with a pH that can reach as high as 10.5. While its waters are unsuitable for most aquatic life, the lake's high concentration of sodium carbonate creates an ideal habitat for microalgae like spirulina, the primary food source for flocks of flamingos that gather here during the rainy season. In January 2025, approximately 200 lesser flamingos were recorded at Lake Andutu. The lesser flamingo is the smallest flamingo species in the world, yet it is the most numerous, with over 2.2 million individuals spread across East Africa. Despite their delicate appearance, they survive in some of the most unforgiving environments, where waters are highly alkaline, the mud is scorching, and the sun blazes overhead. Thick skin on their legs, specialized salt glands, and tough scales help them maintain internal balance under these extreme conditions. Unlike seed or insect-eating birds, they are living filters of saline lakes. They feed almost exclusively on cyanobacteria and carotenoid-rich diatoms, the compounds responsible for their signature pink-orange hue. Inside their curved bills are more than 10,000 lamellae, allowing them to filter water up to 20 times per second, a filtration system as intricate as a natural bioengineering marvel. From late January to mid-March each year, the volcanic grasslands of the Serengeti in Tanzania, especially the Ndutu Plains, transform into one of the largest natural birthing grounds on Earth. Here, one female wildebeest, among hundreds of thousands, is carrying new life, ready to begin a remarkable story of survival in the wild. According to the Tanzania National Parks Authority, in just the first 2 to 3 weeks of February, more than 500,000 calves are born around Lake Andutu. That number is so massive, it forces predators to pause and compels the entire ecosystem to adapt. For the female wildebeest, pregnancy is no accident. Behind what may seem like a random reproductive cycle lies an intricate dance between hormones and the surrounding environment. After the first rains, the grasslands around Lake Andutu turn lush and rich in protein, a gift from the land itself. With longer daylight hours and denser grass cover, all these factors act as cues that trigger her body's reproductive system into motion. When reproductive hormones surged throughout the herd around October of the previous year, she conceived, not just as a means of survival, but as part of a time-tested biological strategy. Now, after 8 months of pregnancy, she is ready. The calf within her is beginning to stir, just like hundreds of thousands of other young lives, awaiting the moment to step into the vastness of the world. Synchronized birth is no coincidence. It is an evolutionary strategy, honed over millions of years, designed to shield the next generation from the claws and teeth of the wild. When hundreds of thousands of calves arrive at once, predators, from lions and cheetahs to hyenas, are overwhelmed. They simply cannot focus on hunting one by one. This strategy is known as predator satiation, the phenomenon of overwhelming predators with a sheer abundance of newborns. Because of it, the chances of survival for the calf she's about to bring into the world rise significantly. In the unforgiving world of the Serengeti Plains, where the line between life and loss can be drawn in a single glance, giving birth all at once is nature's quiet stroke of wisdom. This female wildebeest will welcome her calf into a circle of her kind, forming a natural, living shield of bodies and movement. While blue wildebeest do not raise their young through a structured communal system, the shared presence of so many mothers and calves creates a relatively safe zone, one that gives predators pause before daring to charge the herd. What's remarkable is that this phenomenon of simultaneous birth also reduces internal competition. When all the calves are born around the same time, they share similar conditions and equal chances to access their mother's milk. None are too old or too small in comparison. This balance helps minimize the risk of being harmed by unrelated adults, promoting a kind of biological fairness within the herd. From a broader perspective, the phenomenon of synchronous birthing is not unique to wildebeest. Nature has orchestrated similar mass birth cycles in many other species, from salmon swimming upstream to lay their eggs, to sea turtles nesting on sandy shores, and coral reefs releasing eggs and sperm in unison under the moonlight. Yet, on a continental scale, the birthing spectacle around Lake Ndutu remains one of the most extraordinary biological events ever witnessed on land. Amid hundreds of thousands of blue wildebeest, one mother has just completed her very first birth. In an instant, she understands that her tiny newborn cannot wait for tenderness. It must immediately adapt to this world, learning to stand, to run, and to survive under the ever-watchful eyes of predators. The young blue wildebeest is born with a soft, pale tan coat, as if nature had painted on its first layer of camouflage. That coloring blends into the grass, shielding it from the watchful eyes of lurking predators. At night, in the chill, the same coat acts like an invisible blanket, holding warmth close to its small frame. Over the next 2 months, that fur will slowly shift to the species' signature blue-gray hue, with a mane and dark beard beginning to grow, marking the calf's quiet transformation. By around 8 months old, the young blue wildebeest will leave its mother and join a peer group. There, it learns how to live within the social structure, recognize warning signals, and respond to threats, lessons it could never learn alone. This separation, though touched with a hint of loneliness, is a necessary step in maintaining the herd's balance. If it's female, it may be ready to reproduce in about 16 months. If it's male, the wait is longer, up to 24 months. and like all other males, it must face fierce competition for rank, where it's not always the strongest, but the most persistent and clever that will earn the chance to pass on its lineage. In the Ndutu Plains, the survival rate of newborn calves depends entirely on the rain. If the grass grows quickly and thick, more than 80% of the calves can make it. But if the rains come late or the grazing is sparse, they grow weak, fall behind, and become easy targets. And if separated from their mother for just a few minutes, a young blue wildebeest can quickly become prey for a hungry pride of lions lying in wait. What are your thoughts on the journey of a blue wildebeest being born? Let us know in the comments below. These lions come from the Ngorongoro crater, the most awe-inspiring site within the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. Covering roughly 260 square kilometers and plunging nearly 600 meters deep, it is the largest intact volcanic caldera in the world, formed 2 to 3 million years ago after a massive eruption caused the mountain's peak to collapse, creating a vast enclosed basin. The ecosystem here thrives year-round, independent of the migration. All of the big 5 species are present, but the most striking are the lions, with 65 to 75 individuals split among around 8 prides, creating the highest recorded density of wild lions ever observed in an open natural setting. Dawn rises over the endless grasslands of the Ndutu Plains, with early mist still drifting low to the ground, casting a thin, smoky veil across the landscape. In the cool morning air, before the first rays of sunlight can dry the dew from the blades of grass, a group of lionesses is closing in on their prey. They've been tracking the blue wildebeest herd since twilight. Now is the perfect moment to strike. The air is cool, the breeze is light and blowing in their favor. Their hearing and vision, finely tuned for low light conditions, are now at their sharpest. One young wildebeest is starting to fall behind the herd. The lionesses know this window won't stay open for long. With powerful muscles built for short, explosive bursts, they don't chase the way wild dogs do. All they need is one precise charge. 2 lionesses move in silently from either side, their amber eyes burning through the mist. They are the wings, tasked with steering the wildebeest toward a dead end. Meanwhile, another lioness crouches low ahead of the herd, hidden among the short grasses, poised to intercept. The role of the center is more than just waiting. It's about reading the chaos and predicting the path of panic in the instant the prey bolts. The wildebeest herd suddenly senses that something is off. A few leap to their feet, hooves pounding the ground without chaos, without cruelty beyond what survival demands. Simply another turn in the unbroken cycle of life on the plains. The males, with their thick, dark manes, emblems of high testosterone, carry both a symbol of strength and a biological armor against injury during clashes. The color and density of the mane directly reflect a male's reproductive potential and his standing within the pride. Even the way lions care for their young reveals the species' uniquely communal nature. Lionesses often give birth around the same time. Cubs can nurse from any lactating female, not just their own mother. This shared caregiving boosts survival rates and strengthens social bonds within the pride. The cubs are born with spotted coats that offer better camouflage in their early months, a subtle yet brilliant detail shaped by natural selection. The ecological role of lions cannot be overstated. As apex predators at the top of the food chain, they regulate populations of large herbivores, helping maintain balance across the entire ecosystem. When lion numbers decline, prey populations can surge, putting unsustainable pressure on vegetation and the surrounding environment. Their presence, therefore, is not just symbolic, it is a vital link in the machinery of nature. In the Serengeti, lions aren't the only hunters. The spotted hyena is another predator that takes full advantage of the synchronized birthing of Blue Wildebeest. Far from being lazy scavengers, as they were once thought to be, hyenas are skilled hunters in their own right. They are capable of bringing down full-grown wildebeest, isolated zebras, and even young hippos. Prey they hunt themselves, making up just need to outlast. When the prey is exhausted, nearly collapsing on the open savanna, the first bites from the hyena pack deliver the final verdict. Their jaws, capable of exerting up to 4,500 newtons of force, enough pressure to crush a steel door, tear through thick muscle and even shatter spine. Unlike many other carnivores, hyenas are absolute utilizers. They don't just eat meat. Bones, hooves, cartilage, and even teeth are all crushed and digested thanks to their powerful, highly acidic digestive system. As a result, their scat takes on a chalky white color, rich in calcium phosphate, a clear sign of their ability to process every last trace of nature's offering. At night, the sounds echoing from within the crater are more than just wind brushing against sheer rock walls. They include the far-carrying whoop of a lone hyena, marking territory, calling to clanmates, or sending an urgent alert. Alongside the infamous unsettling laughter, an eerie sound often likened to mockery or madness, is an entire system of complex social communication. All of it supports the tightly knit structure within the clan, a network of interaction more akin to that of primates than typical carnivores. The spotted hyena is not a dog. From an evolutionary standpoint, it is more closely related to cats, belonging to the Feliformia group, alongside leopards, civets, and mongooses. But their appearance can be deceiving. Their powerful build, sloping back legs, haunting calls, and pack-based lifestyle often make them look and behave more like members of the canine family. From an ecological perspective, hyenas are more than just hunters. They are among nature's most effective cleanup crews. By consuming entire carcasses, they help minimize sources of disease, recycle nutrients, and keep the savanna ecosystem running smoothly. In this ever-shifting grassland, where wildebeest, buffalo, and zebra herds are constantly on the move with the seasons, the presence of hyenas serves as a steady pivot point between life and loss. At Ngorongoro Crater, a place where remains are present year-round, the petite hooded vulture is often the first to arrive, yet one of the last to leave. Unlike its much larger relatives like the white-backed vulture or the lappet-faced vulture, this species weighs just under 2 kilograms. Unlike most vultures in the Old World group, the hooded vulture has a well-developed sense of smell. They can detect remains from a distance, especially in the early morning, when thermals are just beginning to form and predators have yet to leave their overnight resting spots. Its slender, tweezer-like beak works almost like a precision tool, allowing it to handle every millimeter of a lifeless form with care. Its small size lets it slip into tight spaces within a carcass to clean up what's been left behind. Bits of skin, eyeballs, brain tissue tucked deep inside the skull, things the larger species tend to overlook. By taking care of the final scraps, it helps reduce the risk of spreading illnesses such as anthrax, botulism, or rabies in the warm, humid environment teeming with microorganisms. In late March, as the wildebeest herds head toward the western Serengeti in search of fresh grass, the hooded vultures stay behind with the remains. Without needing to migrate, they remain quiet witnesses to the cycle of life, loss, and renewal across the harsh savanna. From April to June, as the dry season begins to settle over the western corridor of the Serengeti, the landscape transforms into parched fields of golden grass. Daytime temperatures hover around 26 degrees Celsius, while at night they dip below 15 degrees Celsius. The scarcity of water and vegetation signals the start of the Great Migration for about 1.7 million wildebeest, moving westward and then northward, following the rain and drought rhythm that has shaped their journey for generations. Traveling alongside them are the plain zebra. The plain zebra carries a map of patterns unlike any other. Its black and white stripes ripple from shoulder to thigh, from neck to legs, forming a visual language that is entirely unique. No two zebras share the same design. This not only makes them easily identifiable subjects for biologists, but also helps zebras recognize one another among the thousands within a herd. Amid the wild complexity of the natural world, these stripes feel like personal calling cards, hand-signed by the Creator. The question of why zebras have stripes has long puzzled scientists. However, over time, several theories have become increasingly clear. When zebras gather in herds, their stripes blend together, creating a dazzle camouflage effect that makes it difficult for predators like lions to single out and lock onto a target. A recent study published in 2024 also found that polarized light reflected from zebra stripes disrupts the navigation systems of tsetse flies and horseflies, two insect species known for carrying harmful diseases. Beneath those stripes lies a body built for resilience. Zebras can run up to 65 kilometers per hour, a speed vital for crossing perilous open plains or fording rivers like the Grumeti, where crocodiles over 5 meters long lie in wait beneath the murky surface. Unlike some grazers that selectively feed on soft grass, zebras are pioneer grazers. They lead the way, consuming the dry, coarse grass and clearing a path for wildebeest, topi, and gazelle to follow and enjoy the tender new growth that springs up afterward. This feeding strategy not only helps zebras adapt to the sparse vegetation of the dry season, but also positions them as quiet, ecological architects, sustaining the flow and diversity of wildlife across the savanna. Each year, from April to June, as the rains fade and watering holes begin to dry up, zebra herds set out, following an ancient map etched into ancestral memory. The latest satellite data from 2024 recorded over 250,000 zebra taking part in this journey, a vital part of the greater migration of more than 2 million herbivores across the Serengeti. What's fascinating is that zebras do not move at random. The hippocampus region of their brains, the center for storing spatial memory, is especially well developed, enabling them to navigate with remarkable accuracy across hundreds of kilometers of grassland, from the western Serengeti all the way to the Maasai Mara in Kenya. Zebra herds not only lead the way on the ground, but also serve as ecological beacons for the entire migration. When zebras appear, wildebeest soon follow. It's not just because zebras clear the path physically, but also because they carry vital information: where grass still grows, where water can still be found, and where it's safe to pause and rest. If the plain zebra dazzles the world with its striking camouflage, Then, in the Serengeti, another creature can nearly vanish into the landscape by simply staying still. That is the puff adder, a famed venomous snake of Africa, a master of ambush, a silent warrior of the savannah. The name puff adder comes from its signature defensive behavior. When threatened, it inflates its body and lets out a loud hissing sound like a bellows, a final warning before it strikes. Its long fangs, hinged to open wide, drive down into the target, delivering cytotoxic venom that causes tissue damage, blistering, and, if left untreated, can even lead to loss of a limb. While it's not the most venomous species, 3 key traits make it particularly threatening. It is widespread, often found near human activity, and rarely chooses to flee. Instead of escaping, the puff adder typically remains motionless, making it easy for someone to step on it by accident. According to the World Health Organization, it remains the leading cause of snake-related fatalities in Africa, especially in sub-Saharan and East African regions, including the Serengeti. Even with potent venom and masterful camouflage, the puff adder stands little chance against this remarkable bird. The name secretary bird has 2 intriguing explanations. One links it to the image of a 19th century secretary, dressed in grey with quill pens tucked behind the ear, echoing the bird's sleek grey feathers and striking black crest. The other comes from the Arabic phrase "sakr et tair," meaning hunter bird, which more accurately captures the bold, ground-hunting nature of this extraordinary species. Unlike most raptors that soar through the skies, the secretary bird is a predator of the ground. It's renowned for its skill in dispatching snakes, including venomous ones like cobras and puff adders. Each strike, delivered with scaly, horn-covered feet, lands with a force 5 times the bird's own body weight and is executed in less than 15 milliseconds, enough to break bones or bring down prey instantly. Its attack is not only lightning fast, but also remarkably precise, often aimed directly at the head or neck to swiftly end the encounter. On the flat expanse of the Western Corridor, as the grasslands dry and crack under the footsteps of millions, the Grumeti and Mbalajeti rivers become the last remaining lifelines. But where there is water, there is also lurking risk. The Grumeti, a seasonal river, holds rainwater from the end of the wet season, gradually shrinking into shallow, muddy segments, still and brown like a mirror. Beneath that surface, Nile crocodiles up to 4 meters long lie motionless, with only their eyes above water, ready to launch a strike powerful enough to bring down a full-grown wildebeest in a blink. Crossing isn't a choice, it's a necessity. But this river isn't just for the thirsty wildebeest herds. As heavy hoofbeats press deep into the soil, the towering form of the African bush elephant emerges from the edge of the sparse woodland. With unmatched size and sheer power, they are visitors that even the Nile crocodile approaches with caution. The African bush elephant is the largest land-dwelling mammal on Earth. A full-grown male can stand up to 4 meters tall, weigh over 7 metric tons, and quite literally carry the weight of an entire ecosystem on its back. In the dry, searing heat of the Serengeti's volcanic grasslands, that massive frame can be a burden, but it's also what sets them apart. Those large ears, shaped like the African continent, flap constantly. Beneath their thick skin lies a dense network of blood vessels that helps release heat, a built-in cooling system of nature's design. The steady motion of their ears is not just for swatting away flies, but also a way to regulate body temperature after long treks across the plains. Meanwhile, their flexible trunk, containing over 40,000 individual muscles, works like a multi-tool. Drawing water, plucking grass, even splashing it onto their backs, like a living sunscreen under the open sky. When the elephant herd approaches the Grumeti River, they face more than just thirst. The waters left behind after the rainy season often turn murky and unpredictable. Grumeti crocodiles, reaching lengths of up to 4 meters, lie motionless beneath the mud, waiting patiently for a single misstep. Adult elephants usually pause, scanning the water carefully for a long moment before taking that first step in. Young elephants, still fragile and easily startled, are surrounded by larger members of the herd, forming a protective circle around them. In critical moments, the entire group is willing to turn back against the current or use their trunks to pull a calf out of deep mud. Not a single move is made by chance. These decisions are guided by the memory and experience of the oldest female, the matriarch, the herd's quiet yet unwavering leader. Each day, an adult elephant needs up to 150 kilograms of vegetation and more than 190 liters of water. When the grasslands are scorched, they begin digging shallow wells, using their tusks, modified incisor teeth, to break through the soil in search of moisture. Those tusks, long and curved, are both a beautiful symbol and a tragic one. They're used for snapping branches, unearthing roots, and self-defense, but they are also the reason thousands of elephants are illegally hunted each year. Even so, this species continues to play an irreplaceable role in the Serengeti ecosystem. They are true ecosystem engineers. Every branch they break, every path they carve through the brush, helps create space for countless other species to thrive. Elephant dung is more than just waste. It's rich fuel for seed dispersal, helping forests and grasslands regenerate after each fire season. After crossing the Grumeti River, the wildebeest herd continues its journey in search of fresh grass, guided by the collective wisdom of the group. But now they face a species that uses the power of the pack even more effectively. That is the African wild dog. At first glance, they look like living works of art. Coats mottled in black, white, yellow and brown, as if painted by the hand of a free-spirited artist. But that beauty serves more than just admiration. In the wild, each individual's one-of-a-kind coat acts as camouflage, blending into dappled light and brush, turning the entire pack into a seamless extension of the landscape. But what makes their hunts so effective isn't just their appearance. Take a closer look at their long, muscular legs, built with only 4 toes and no dew claw. This unique evolutionary trait reduces drag, conserves energy, and is perfectly suited for long-distance chases. With large lungs and a lean, elongated frame, they can maintain a steady pace for hours without tiring. Perched atop their heads, the large, round ears rise like radar antennas, not just tools for listening. These ears can rotate independently, picking up signals from kilometers away, from the rustle of prey to the distant calls of packmates. At the same time, They function as biological radiators, helping regulate body temperature under the intense Serengeti sun. And then, the hunt begins. No need for stealth, no need for ambush. A small group breaks off, selecting a target, often a young impala or wildebeest. They start by holding a steady pace around 10 kilometers per hour, gradually pushing the prey toward exhaustion. As the prey struggles to find a way out, other members of the pack take turns closing in, keeping relentless pressure, like a relay chase where the hunters conserve their energy while the prey slowly runs out of steam. When the prey stumbles, even for just a split second, the pack surges forward, accelerating to 70 kilometers per hour and closing the trap. One cuts off the front, another locks down the rear, while others strike from the sides, each individual executing its role with precision, in a strategy honed over millions of years of evolution. According to 2024 data from the Wildlife Conservation Society, African wild dogs have a hunting success rate ranging from 70 to 90%, the highest in the animal kingdom among predators. Not because of sheer power, but because of perfect coordination. Another remarkable trait is their high reproductive capacity. An alpha female can give birth to 10 to 12 pups in a single litter, sometimes even up to 20. This is nature's way of balancing out the high mortality rate among pups, caused by disease, predators, and shifting climate conditions. Once the African wild dog pack has had its fill, tearing the prey apart and feeding, they move on, leaving behind scraps of flesh and bone. Seizing the moment, black-cloaked birds descend and gather around, as if holding a solemn vigil for the fallen. These are Marabou storks, birds known not only by their nickname, Undertaker bird, for their somber appearance, but also for their vital ecological role, nature's cleanup crew in the wild. Millions of years of evolution have shaped the Marabou stork into a creature perfectly adapted for a scavenger's life. Its head and neck are completely bald, covered in pale, blotchy pink skin that makes cleanup easier after plunging deep into decaying carcasses. If that area were covered in feathers, fluids and bacteria from the remains would cling to them, leading to serious infections. This is a biological adaptation, much like that of vultures, reflecting a highly specialized evolutionary path for the role of ecological sanitation. The Marabou stork is one of the largest flying birds on land. It can stand up to 1.5 meters tall, with a wingspan reaching 3.7 meters, roughly the length of a family car. Despite its massive frame, its weight is optimized by hollow bone structures in its legs and toes, allowing it to soar effortlessly on rising thermal currents from the ground. In the sky, it can glide at altitudes above 4,500 meters with minimal wing flapping, conserving energy as it scans the grasslands below for carcasses or scraps. They often work alongside vultures as part of a professional cleanup crew. While vultures use their hooked beaks to tear through thick hides, the Marabou stork's large wedge-shaped bill is built to reach into crevices and extract meat from deep within the carcass. When they can't break open the body themselves, they'll wait patiently or feed on leftovers from other species. And sometimes, they'll even fight for scraps if the opportunity arises. This ecological hierarchy in scavenging maximizes the use of available resources, while also helping to cleanse the environment of pathogens and decay. By late June, as the wildebeest journey pushes farther north, the air grows noticeably clearer and drier with each passing day. Rainfall drops from about 74 millimeters in May to just 27 millimeters in June, and falls even further to below 15 millimeters in July. With lower humidity, clear skies, and fewer clouds, the landscape shifts into a crisp, dry atmosphere, a stark contrast to the lush greenery seen at the start of the rainy season. The northern terrain becomes gently hilly and open, with scattered woodland vegetation, an ideal setting for predators like lions, leopards, hyenas, and cheetahs to thrive. In central Serengeti, among exposed rocky outcrops known as kopjes, the elevated vantage points give predators a clearer line of sight to track prey. For the wildebeest herds, every step deeper into this region brings a new challenge. The migration of over 2 million antelope includes more than just wildebeest and plain zebra. A smaller antelope species travels alongside them, an appealing target for hungry cheetahs. On the grasslands now turned golden, it moves quietly but with intention. This is the Thompson's gazelle, also known as the Tommy. In a world where survival hinges on speed and cunning, the Thompson's gazelle, often called the dancer of the grasslands, embodies grace amid the harshness of the savanna. Capable of running up to 90 kilometers per hour and executing sharp turns with ease thanks to their small, sharp hooves, they force predators like cheetahs and leopards to think twice before making a move. When sensing danger, a Tommy may leap high with all four legs in a motion known as stotting, an act believed to serve both as a warning and a bold display of physical prowess. They don't lead the great migration alongside wildebeest and zebra. Instead, they choose to move along the edges or at the rear, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Only after the tall grasses have been trimmed do the Tommies graze on the tender shoots beneath, a more nutritious, energy-rich option. This strategy helps them stay under the radar, conserve energy, and benefit from the paths cleared by the larger herds. Small, but far from insignificant, the Thompson's gazelle is a vital link in the ecosystem, helping control grass growth and serving as a key food source for the cheetah, the fastest hunting cat on Earth. Across the grasslands of northern and central Serengeti at this time, as daytime temperatures climb, clouds vanish, and humidity drops, speed is no longer optional. It's a matter of survival. Hidden beneath the dry, golden grass, the cheetah, the fastest predator on Earth, locks its gaze on a distant target, a young Thompson's gazelle, momentarily separated from the herd, absorbed in its search for food. The social structure of the cheetah is notably distinct. Females live solitary lives, except during the period of raising cubs, which can last nearly 2 years. Males, on the other hand, form tight-knit groups known as coalitions, usually made up of brothers, though sometimes including unrelated individuals. These coalitions increase their ability to defend territory, attract mates, and fend off competition from other predators. Solitary individuals, particularly males, tend to have lower long-term survival rates due to lack of support and being more speed pursuit in the daylight. Whatever remains is left to the black-backed jackal, an incredibly versatile creature. It's just as skilled at hunting as it is at scavenging. Its adaptable stomach allows the black-backed jackal to make use of every opportunity, from grasshoppers, lizards, and field mice, to hares, birds, eggs, and even small antelope like steenbok and springbok. After every hunt by a lion or leopard, they arrive, uninvited guests. But far from being mere freeloaders, jackals play a vital ecological role, cleaning up carcasses, breaking down dead tissue, and preventing the spread of disease. Their digestive microbiome is remarkably resilient, capable of handling harmful bacteria at levels few other species can tolerate. By late June, the herds of wildebeest, along with zebra and various antelope species, continue pressing northward toward the Mara River, where the most grueling challenge of their journey awaits. Hundreds of thousands gather along the riverbanks in early July, preparing for a crossing that could mean life or loss. An estimated 1.3 million wildebeest are expected to make the Mara crossing between July and September, the dramatic peak of the Great Migration. The Mara River is deep, wide, and murky. Nile crocodiles lie in wait beneath its still surface, while lions, leopards, and hyenas turn both riverbanks into ambush points. The young, the weak, or the slow are often swept away or fall into jaws just steps from survival. Each year, an estimated 250,000 wildebeest never make it to the Maasai Mara, claimed by hunger, thirst, exhaustion, predators, or the river itself. But there is no reaching the promised land without crossing the Mara River. The body structure of the Nile crocodile has remained virtually unchanged for nearly 80 million years, dating back to the late Cretaceous period. Its ancestors once shared the earth with Tyrannosaurus rex, but while those dominant creatures vanished, the Nile crocodile endured, evolving into the ultimate river predator of Africa. It never needed to change much because it already embodied a biological design that defies time. An ancient life form, yet precise as clockwork, preserved in the earth as if part of a sacred intention from the Creator. The surface of the Mara River lies still, like a mirror. No warning signs, no ripples of alarm, but beneath that muddy, silent water, an ancient predator waits for the decisive moment. Nile crocodile, the silent beast of sub-Saharan Africa. In the murky waters of the Mara River, they are nearly invisible. Only their eyes, ears, and nostrils rise just above the surface, aligned along the top of their heads like drifting dots, just enough to breathe, listen, and observe without revealing their presence. They can remain motionless for hours, waiting for the wildebeest herds to arrive. The hunter knows the prey has no choice but to come here. A herd of wildebeest edges closer to the riverbank, hesitating at the rushing current. And the moment they touch the water, wildebeest that perish each year during river crossings, crocodiles in the Mara are the primary cause behind countless losses. Deep waters, strong currents, and low visibility all come together to form the perfect natural trap, with the Nile crocodile as the living force at its heart. The Nile crocodile is also noted as one of the few reptile species known to swallow stones, called gastroliths, which are believed to act as ballast for deep diving or to help maintain balance during sudden attacks. Some biologists even suggest these stones may aid in grinding food inside the stomach, although in reality, a crocodile's stomach is already powerful enough to break down bones, hooves, and even animal fur. Beneath the surface, Their respiratory and circulatory systems are even more remarkable. Though reptiles, they possess a four-chambered heart, a feature typically found in birds and mammals. This allows blood to be circulated more efficiently to vital organs, especially during deep dives. On top of that, they can shut off the valve that sends blood to the lungs, enabling them to stay submerged longer without needing to breathe. Some individuals can remain underwater for up to 2 hours while resting, far surpassing the limits of most land-dwelling creatures. With all that power, it's surprising to learn that their sex is not determined by genes, but by the temperature of the environment during egg incubation. Nests with temperatures below 30 degrees Celsius tend to produce mostly females, while those above 32 degrees Celsius result in predominantly males. If the temperature falls in between, the ratio is more balanced. This makes the species extremely sensitive to climate change. Rising temperatures year after year are threatening the stable gender structure of their populations, especially along riverbanks like the Mara River, where nesting grounds sit on sandy soil directly exposed to sunlight and drought. Nile crocodiles are not just cold-blooded hunting machines. Beneath that rough and rugged exterior lies one of the most remarkable examples of maternal instinct in the reptile world. When it's time to lay eggs, the female digs a deep hole in the sandy riverbank and guards it for 3 months, never leaving the nest, not even for a single night. As the hatchlings begin to emerge, faint sounds from inside the eggs prompt the mother to gently uncover the nest and delicately carry each baby in her jaws down to the shallow waters. There, in the very river where the weak once struggled to survive, the mother crocodile continues to protect her young for weeks, or even up to 2 years. In the Mara ecosystem, the Nile crocodile is far more than just a predator. It is a manifestation of nature's power, a fusion of ancient evolutionary design and a vital role in the modern ecological balance. Each river crossing by the wildebeest herds is a test of survival, but for the crocodile, it is part of a sacred cycle, where the strong not only endure, but help uphold an unchanging order in the eternal rhythm between life and loss. When the Nile crocodile slips back into the murky water after a brutal hunt, the surface of the Mara River returns to a deceptive calm. But that doesn't mean the river is safe, only that another ruler has arrived. Hippopotamus amphibius, the river horse, does not hunt, does not stalk. Yet, wherever they appear, even crocodiles keep their distance. The two species share the same river, both bound to the water as if it were breath itself. But between crocodiles and hippos, it has never been a peaceful coexistence, only a fragile balance between power and territory. Though they may resemble giant pigs, the hippo's closest relatives aren't found on land, but deep beneath the ocean. Whales, dolphins, and porpoises are its closest kin, confirmed through genetic analysis. All of them once shared a semi-aquatic ancestor tens of millions of years ago. The river today may be nothing more than an evolutionary memory lingering in that massive waterbound body. The hippo is the third largest land mammal, surpassed only by the elephant and the white rhinoceros. An adult male can weigh up to 3,000 kilograms and stand about 1.5 meters tall. But don't be mistaken into thinking they can swim. They don't float, and they don't truly swim either. Instead, they walk along the riverbed, each step solid and powerful, as if galloping through clouds of muddy water. Hippos can hold their breath for up to 5 minutes and even surface for air without waking up, a rare reflex among mammals. A hippo's skin is extremely sensitive to sunlight. They don't have sweat glands, but instead secrete a pinkish-red fluid from glands beneath the skin, once mistaken for blood. In reality, it's a natural blend of sunscreen, moisturizer, and antibacterial protection all in one. In the scorching heat of over 38 degrees Celsius in the Serengeti, this protective layer is their shield for survival. During the day, hippos stay submerged in water to regulate their body temperature. When night falls, they quietly leave the river, traveling several kilometers into the grasslands to graze through the night. They feed continuously for 6 to 8 hours, consuming up to 50 kilograms of grass each night, mostly soft, low-growing, and moisture-rich varieties. Though herbivores, hippos wield a fearsome weapon, a mouth that can open up to 180 degrees, and 2 pairs of tusk-like canines reaching up to 50 centimeters long. They don't use these teeth for chewing, but for combat. When 2 males fight over territory, especially in the narrow stretches of rivers like the Mara, their bites can be devastating, often targeting the jaw or flanks. To mark territory, a hippo flings its dung while rapidly swishing its tail, a bizarre yet unmistakably effective ritual, like raising a flag. When the final hoof touches the far bank, the wildebeest herd does not stop. The Mara River is now behind them, along with the scent of mud, the echoes of cries, and the memory of that sudden grip that pulled a companion away forever. Ahead, the grasslands of the Maasai Mara unfold, soft, green, and eerily still. The wind carries the scent of damp earth and the tender smell of new leaves just sprouting after a light rain. After weeks of crossing parched lands, this place feels like a reward for survival. From July to October, the Mara stays gently green thanks to light but consistent rainfall, just 29 to 59 millimeters per month, enough to keep the vegetation alive. The wildebeest slow their grazing, no longer yanking at the grass in fear of what might be behind them. Zebra and topi herds scatter nearby, not competing, just quietly sharing the momentary peace. But even across the open savanna, shadows remain. The strips of riverine forest lining the Mara, Talek, and sand rivers form dark, narrow borders against the grasslands, places where leopards hide throughout the day, silent and patient. Beneath the dappled canopy and sun-speckled grass, each rosette appears faintly, like smudged patterns on a golden woolen cloth. Unlike the solid spots of a cheetah, a leopard's rosettes are shaped like open petals, hollow in the center, marks of a design seemingly made for the shifting dance of shadow and light in the sparse woodland. Between July and October, as wildebeest flood into the Maasai Mara from the Serengeti, leopards remain apart from the commotion. They live solitary lives, tucked away in places few ever notice. In the Mara Triangle, their average density is estimated at just 1.90 individuals per 100 square kilometers, a small presence in an ecosystem stretching across 1,510 square kilometers. In the quiet shade, they maintain distinct territories. Males command larger areas that overlap with the ranges of several females. Yet even when living close to one another, they rarely cross paths, except during mating season. Their elusive nature has earned them the name, the invisible ones of the savannah. Though solitary by nature, the leopard is a devoted mother. After a pregnancy of about 90 to 105 days, a female gives birth to 2 to 3 cubs in a hidden spot, such as a rock crevice or dense thicket. Born blind and vulnerable, the cubs are frequently moved by their mother from one shelter to another to avoid detection. Over the course of 18 to 24 months, they learn to climb trees, stalk prey, and master the art of concealment, essential skills for a life on their own. It's a harsh phase of survival, yet also a transformative journey of growth marked by faith, resilience, and quiet strength. morning in the Maasai Mara. A group of young topi steps into the grasslands, more at ease now that the roar of lions and the eerie laughter of hyenas have faded. But in that calm, death takes the shape of stillness. Lying motionless in the grass, a leopard watches every uncertain movement of its prey. It needs no backup. Its body is sleek yet powerfully built. Broad shoulders and agile hind legs give it the strength to leap far and climb high, while razor-sharp retractable claws are kept clean, ready for the perfect moment to strike. It creeps forward, each step utterly silent. The gap narrows, less than 10 meters now. A sudden pounce, its entire As the leopard settles onto a high branch with its hard-won prize below, the Maasai Mara savanna continues to move. Not with roars, but with steady footsteps through the sun-bleached grass, comes the Maasai ostrich, the largest bird on Earth. Adult males stand up to 2.7 meters tall and weigh over 150 kilograms, with an unmistakable appearance. Vivid reddish-pink necks and thighs set against jet-black plumage. That bold red isn't just for attracting mates. It also helps dissipate heat efficiently in temperatures nearing 40 degrees Celsius. In contrast, females wear soft beige-gray feathers, a perfect camouflage in the sun-scorched grasslands. With long legs and two sturdy toes shaped like hooves, the Maasai ostrich can run up to 70 kilometers per hour and maintain that speed over long distances. Each stride isn't driven by panic, but by a finely tuned escape strategy crafted by nature, fast yet energy efficient. Their eyes, nearly 50 millimeters wide, the largest of any land animal, let them spot danger from afar. Long, curved lashes shield against sun and dust, a quiet but powerful defense on the dry savanna. When cornered, the Maasai ostrich is far from an easy target. A single kick from its powerful legs can cause serious injury, even prove fatal, making it the only land bird capable of such deadly self-defense. Still, its main survival strategy remains early detection and swift retreat. While the Maasai ostrich strides through the dry grass of the savanna, tall necks rise above the horizon like living cranes, signaling the presence of the Maasai giraffe. Unlike zebras or antelope that migrate across vast distances, giraffes stay put, claiming the best vantage points as their own. With males reaching an average height of 5.5 meters, they are the tallest land animals on Earth, masters of browsing from leafy heights no other grazer can reach. The long neck of the Maasai giraffe isn't structurally bizarre. It's simply a set of elongated vertebrae, reinforced by a network of strong muscles and resilient ligaments. Its skin is covered in dark brown, jagged, oak leaf-shaped patches, each individual bearing a unique print, like nature's own fingerprint. They spend nearly 20 hours a day feeding, usually living in small herds of females and their young. Males are more often solitary or form temporary bachelor groups, especially during the breeding season. When competing for mates, they engage in necking, a ritual combat where they swing their necks and strike with their heads, using ossicones as weapons. Ossicones aren't true horns, but bone structures covered in skin, serving both as tools for battle and markers of gender identity. Today, the Maasai giraffe population in Kenya is estimated at around 35,000 to 45,000 individuals, with approximately 7,100 found in the Maasai Mara alone. However, this number has dropped by nearly 50% over the past few decades due to deforestation, human-wildlife conflict, poaching, and increasing pressure from infrastructure development. The Maasai giraffe is now listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. By late October, as the first rains fall on the dusty soil of the Serengeti, the wildebeest begin to move once more. No guide is needed, only the scent of rain, the breath of earth, and the tender green blades just sprouting beneath their hooves. From the north, the entire herd turns southward, back toward the lands around Andutu, now lush and green again, as if the dry season had never passed. Rainfall ranging from 50 to nearly 100 millimeters is enough to awaken the thin but nutrient-rich grasses growing on ancient volcanic soil. Grass that can blanket the plains in just a few days. Daytime temperatures hold steady between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius, dropping to 13 to 16 degrees at night. Cool enough for recovery, ideal for life to take root. Female wildebeests graze more heavily now, their bellies heavier than in previous months. Within them, new life is beginning to form. The low, open plains, with abundant light, little dust, and nothing to hide behind, are not just the destination, but the place where every cycle begins anew. For the wildebeest, the rains bring more than just water. They carry the memory of past birthing seasons and the hope of the generation yet to come. In the South Serengeti, the blue wildebeest reunites with the common eland, the largest antelope species on Earth, one of the migratory animals that has returned early. Like the millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles, they've come back to take advantage of the rich food newly gifted by the land and sky. Adult males can stand up to 1.8 meters tall at the shoulder and weigh anywhere from 500 to over 1,000 kilograms. With long, spiraled horns and powerful, thick legs, they resemble living tanks on the savanna. What's unique about elands is that both males and females possess strong, spiraled horns. In males, the horns are larger, used to display strength and establish dominance within the herd. For females, the horns serve as a means of defense, especially when protecting their young from predators. Also horned and powerfully built, the South Central black rhinoceros lives at a far more leisurely pace than antelope species. There's no need for them to migrate. Serengeti and Maasai Mara are the perfect home, providing everything this species needs to thrive. From October to December, the South Serengeti becomes an ideal refuge for this species. Regenerating vegetation after the rains, moisture-retaining basalt soil, and a diverse food supply all support their movement and energy intake with ease. Their upper lip, pointed and as nimble as a human finger, allows them to skillfully pluck leaves, buds, and tender branches. Black rhinoceroses live solitary lives, with each male marking its territory using dung and urine, biological signposts that can carry signals on the wind. Their eyesight is comparable to that of a rabbit, but their hearing and sense of smell are exceptionally sharp. Their ears rotate independently, and their noses can detect scents from hundreds of meters away. Despite weighing up to 1,400 kilograms, they can charge at speeds of 55 kilometers per hour, making sharp turns through dense brush. After roaming, they often wallow in mud to cool down and protect against insects, a vital layer of natural armor under the intense sun. As a keystone species, the black rhinoceros helps shape the structure of vegetation. They break through thickets, create pathways, and open up space for impalas, guinea fowl, and many smaller bird species, keeping the savanna from being overrun by shrubs and preserving biodiversity. Yet, their presence is steadily shrinking. Though the most numerous subspecies of black rhino, the South Central black rhinoceros, is still listed as critically endangered, As of 2024, only about 2,220 individuals remain across Africa, an increase from the low point of 1,300 in 1995, yet they remain under severe threat from poaching. Their keratin horns, once tools of defense and powerful biological symbols, have now become the very reason they must fight for survival. The first rains of October gently touch the mineral-rich basalt soil, soaking into the parched cracks like waking memories long buried beneath the surface. Within just a few nights, tender green grass springs to life, spreading across the open ground around Andutu, a clear signal for the blue wildebeest herds pressing southward from the north. In the soft evening breeze, the distant gnu-gnu calls echo like the voice of memory, the sound of an ancient journey repeating itself. The Great Migration neither begins nor ends here, but it is on this land that life is renewed, true to its cycle, carried forward through thousands of generations. With over 1.5 million individuals, along with around 700,000 zebras and hundreds of thousands of gazelles, they form a living river stretching thousands of kilometers, constantly moving in rhythm with the cycles of rain and grass. From October to January, the South Serengeti becomes a vital gathering point, blanketing the plains in green and offering temporary water sources to herds exhausted from their long journey. By late December and early January, as the vegetation has fully flourished after days of steady rain, female blue wildebeest once again enter the calving season. Just minutes after birth, the newborn calves, averaging 19 kilograms, stumble to their feet and begin their very first steps into a running world. The blue wildebeest is a keystone species, an essential link in the ecological chain. As they move, the heavy steps of millions churn up the soil surface, allowing air to reach deeper layers. At the same time, they deposit large amounts of dung, acting as a natural fertilizer that promotes vegetation regrowth. Fresh grass is stimulated to sprout again. The areas they pass through tend to green up faster, thanks to this chain of biological interactions. By grazing down dry grasses, they also reduce the amount of flammable material on the ground, which helps lower the frequency and intensity of wildfires, creating space for shrubs and trees to grow again, and shaping a more layered, diverse ecosystem. During their stop in the South Serengeti, the blue wildebeest emit a variety of vocalizations, low groans, rapid grunts, and occasional bursts of snorts. These sounds are more than expressions of mood. They serve as a crucial tool for maintaining cohesion among individuals spread across a herd that can stretch for hundreds of meters. Alongside their sharp vision, strong sense of smell, and keen hearing, this vocal communication is an essential part of how the species survives in an open grassland that's constantly shifting and full of surprises. The period from October to January is not just a resting phase for the blue wildebeest. It is a moment of profound biological balance for the entire savanna. This is when vegetation recovers, newborns arrive, predators seek opportunity, and the cycle of life continues in the same rhythm it has followed for hundreds of thousands of years. In the harmonious blend of movement, numbers, sound, and interaction, this antelope species does more than survive. It sustains the very framework of one of the planet's most diverse ecosystems. Their journey has no end. The Great Migration remains one of the most enduring biological phenomena on Earth, with an estimated 1.3 to 1.5 million blue wildebeest, along with hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, migrating each year across the Serengeti and Maasai Mara. However, growing pressures from human activity and climate change are posing serious long-term challenges. The greatest threat once came from the proposed Serengeti Highway project, which was cancelled in 2011. Even so, new development proposals, land conversion, and livestock expansion continue to pose risks of habitat fragmentation. The Mara River, the lifeline of the migration, is now facing seasonal droughts and overuse upstream, causing a noticeable decline in flow during the dry season. In Kenya, natural grasslands in the Maasai Mara are shrinking due to tourism development and agricultural expansion. While community conservancies like Nabosho and Olare are helping to restore ecological corridors, the conflict between conservation efforts and indigenous land rights remains unresolved. Though not yet at crisis level, the Great Migration faces an uncertain future without sustainable management strategies that balance human interests with the needs of nature. But this is not just a story about wildlife. It's also a story of communities, technology, and a long-term commitment to sustainable science. In Kenya, over 24 community conservancies have been established around the Maasai Mara, with 5 new ones added since 2024. Together, they protect more than 14,000 hectares of forest and grassland through sustainable land leasing models. Soft boundaries between farmland and wild grasslands are now shaped by buffer zones, ranging from 5 to 9 kilometers wide. Carefully planned strips of land that help reduce agricultural and transportation pressure by up to 54%. Near the Mara River, upstream reforestation projects in the Mau catchment are helping to stabilize water flow during the dry season, reducing the risk of hundreds of thousands of wildebeest being stranded when the river runs low. At Enarau Conservancy, more than 130 hectares of land have been restored with native vegetation, creating new habitats for birds and small antelope species. When each leap of nature is supported by science and collective will, the migration journey stands a better chance of remaining whole for the generations to come. The future of the wild plains of the Serengeti, the flow of the Mara River, and the Great Migration itself rests in our hands. Every small action, from choosing eco-friendly travel and supporting conservation programs to spreading awareness about biodiversity, helps safeguard life. Let's protect these wild harmonies, for today and for all the tomorrows to come. And if you've had the chance to visit the Serengeti or Maasai Mara reserves and witnessed the wildebeest herds thundering across the plains like mighty armies, don't hesitate to share your knowledge and experiences in the comments below. Your stories can be a source of inspiration and encouragement for efforts to protect wildlife and preserve the delicate balance of nature for generations to come. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you can join us on more amazing adventures ahead. You can also continue following the survival journeys of wildlife in other regions through Wild Serengeti. Rulers of Andutu, Grumeti, and Olduvai, or the Last Migration. A journey across Africa's forgotten wilderness.